It always happens when I'm out doing stuff. Today, it was a trip to Costco. I get there, scan my card, and bang, notifications on my phone, new Star Wars information just dropped. Today, we'll be discussing the upcoming Bit Reactor game, which we now know is named Zero Company. I'll cover everything we know, some of what I want to see, and make some speculations on today's Star Wars video. Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. So the official Star Wars pages, Bit Reactor, all of them posted some new information today about Star Wars Zero Company. So we've known for a while that there was a Star Wars strategy game in the works from Bit Reactor. The popular theory was that it would be sort of an XCOM-like experience, but of course in a Star Wars skin. So here's what we officially know from StarWars.com. In Zero Company, we will be able to recruit an unconventional team of operatives and deploy them on missions unlike any other in a galaxy far, far away. And if we take a look at the key art here, we can see 6 characters. First, some sort of commander in the front holding a hologram of a B-1 battle droid. Then, from left to right, we have an Umbaran wearing his combat suit, a Tognoth alien Jedi. The backstory for Two Tubes here is going to surprise everyone. A clone trooper, or at least someone wearing clone armor, what looks to me like an R5 astromech droid, and a Mandalorian. I'll get back to all these characters in just a moment, but the announcement continues saying that the newly announced single-player turn-based tactic game, again, like we all expected, developed by Bit Reactor in collaboration with Respawn and Lucasfilm, will share the first details about the game currently in development at Star Wars Celebration Japan. This is a look at just a few members of the elite squad under your command. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is potential story and setting. This, almost certainly takes place during the Clone Wars. We see a Jedi and a clone trooper in the same place. It actually may even be early on in the Clone Wars. Now, the clone himself has a Phase 1 helmet, although it looks like he's got customized, slimmer body armor, which certainly is more of a Phase 2 clone thing. Regarding the Umbaran, most people remember their arc during the Clone Wars, of course, very memorable, and how they were fighting alongside the CIS, but the Umbarans were actually a part of the Republic before the assassination of Senator Dici. In fact, Dici was fairly militaristic, so it makes sense that the Umbarans, before joining the Separatists, would have troops to spare for an elite Republic Special Forces team, if that's what, in fact, we are looking at here. I can't pick up a ton from the character, the human in the foreground. He looks more like a Rebel Alliance officer than someone from the Republic era. I don't know if he's supposed to be a scoundrel. Someone in my Twitter comments said he looks a lot like Talon Card, and absolutely, that would be an excellent look for Talon. Then also rounding out the group, a Mandalorian, a Jedi, and a droid. I hope that the post is right in that these are only a few of the characters we'll get to see or recruit in the game. One of the best parts about these tactical turn-based strategy games is the potential of losing characters for good. There's nothing more heartbreaking than your sniper or close quarters combat guy you've been training for dozens of missions misses a shot and gets taken out in an unfortunate way. That's what makes the games so compelling, because the losses should be permanent and they should be felt. One of my hopes is that for missions you do have maybe a small squad of your choosing, but also a number of clones or troopers or whoever else rounding out the battlefield. I'm a little disappointed, even though I knew this was coming, that we are getting another small scale game. I want big space battles to put the war in Clone Wars. That won't be what we're getting here. Hopefully, though, it's still good. The other interesting thing about this is that we've now had some prior leaks, albeit only small ones, essentially confirmed, and we do have some work in progress art from the game, which was posted by a contracted artist on one of their personal pages. We can make the connection because a week ago, it was leaked that the game was going to be called Star Wars Zero Company and that its working title was Star Wars Bruno. The screenshots have that working title, and if we take a quick look at them, we see exactly what you'd expect. XCOM, Star Wars. I will admit, I don't love the art style. It looks very Star Wars Hunters, but I think it's also very possible that the art itself is only a stand-in. where they were perhaps trying to demonstrate what the game mechanics could look like. We also see specifically Bo-Katan is here. She appears to be shooting at a clone trooper, but again, these could just be ripped assets put together to show what the game could look like. Interestingly, if that's not the case, these are Phase 2 clone troopers, meaning that the guy we saw earlier either just liked Phase 1 armor or, as I suspected, went the Rex approach and mix and matched. Either way, just to reiterate, we can't take anything in these images, this art, as being representative of the content in the game. But yeah, in the other images, we also see combatants using Overwatch, which is sort of a reactive defensive ability in XCOM, and I'm sure other strategy games. And we also see a base on the Caffrine mining colony. I assume this is the Caffrine Ring, the same one we see in Andor, which would make sense if we are going to be pulling from the underworld, which it certainly appears we will, a decent place to set up a base. Overall, I feel pretty excited about this game. I don't love the Band of Misfits trope. It's certainly been done well in Star Wars recently with the Bad Batch or Alphabet Squadron, but I don't know. I'm a bit apprehensive. Either way, we will be finding out more of the game very, very soon. BitReactor does have a full, I believe, hour-long panel April 19th at Star Wars Celebration in Japan, so we've all got that to look forward to. What I'm interested in is what degree this ties in with the rest of the Star Wars universe and also who worked on the game. BitReactor seems to be the main developer, but they also apparently are working with Respawn, and the game is being published by EA. Honestly, say what you will, I think EA's last Star Wars games have all been good to excellent. Jedi Survivor, I really liked. Star Wars Squadrons may be my favorite Star Wars game of all time. Fallen Order was great. Battlefront 2 was pretty good. It was excellent as a Star Wars experience. The actual base gameplay loop was maybe a bit, it could have been better. So I've got hopes for this. I've got to be a tester for these games in the past. I'll say I've heard nothing about this on my end. Sometimes I'll be honest. I've got a little insight into what's happening that's under NDA or told to me by someone that I trust that I can't talk about. This time, I've got nothing. I will say there are other Star Wars creators who have apparently been flown out to Star Wars Celebration, so you may see more exclusive stuff on their channels, as well as whatever we get at the hour-long preview. Either way, we should know a lot more about this game in a few days, but I'm excited. I will say, as much as I'm excited for another single-player Star Wars game, I really want something with multiplayer in it. I've been itching to throw another tournament. It's possible that Zero Company does have a multiplayer component. It's explicitly marketed so far as a single-player game, but you can quite easily imagine how this turn-based experience could work with 2 or more players. But that's all I've got. I believe Marvel Midnight Sun is another tactical, or rather tactics-based strategy game, which has released in the past few years. Can't say I'm familiar with that, but I've seen some comparisons going around. That's all I've got, though. Let me know your guys' thought on all this and more down below. See you soon.